How do you see the state of play of quarterback so far? What do you like individually about what you've seen from Connor and Jack?
Yeah, I would say continuing to compete. That hasn't changed. That will continue. Have our first scrimmage coming up here on Friday, and I think that will be pretty telling for us to be able to get the feedback we're trying to get. But from a daily basis, we're just continuing to install, our system on both sides, and so that process continues. And you just see, flashes from both guys to be able to run the offense with a commanding mindset, to be able to make all the throws we need to make within it. You think about, Jack, just so competitive, such a great preparer, and is just really doing a good job of just learning, where to get his eyes, where to make the throws. Running the system, and from a holistic perspective, I think is really, I'm seeing growth there, which is what you want, and being able to move the football, down the field, as we move through camp, we get more and more what we call move the ball periods, which is just playing real football. It's not scripted. The situations are, basically you start at a certain point, and whether it's for the minus 30, minus 40, 2 minute, plus 25, if you're going in to red zone focus, just be able to move the football and run the offense. And then with Connor, to me, just continues to, I love just the quick release, ability to, I think you're seeing the growth in the mastery of the system. Obviously, he hasn't been here as long, but as Jack. But bottom line is that just throwing catchable balls. I think one thing that sticks out to me about Connor, just being able to throw a catchable ball, that is really the key. I mean, completions are what you're looking for. We're charting all that and everything from completion percentage to accuracy to whether it's drops or whatever to be able to get a fair assessment of where guys are at. So definitely both of them, and when you have a competition like this, you don't have one guy that's always addressing the team. They're both doing that in their settings and when practice is over. And I think that's a good balance there. And guys are learning to look to see, to those guys to be those leaders in those situations. So see progress without question. But like I said, that to me, really anxious to see the first scrimmage. That to me is really where you'll get the most amount of reps of just pure, playing football and have all the officials here and the full setup. We had a miniature version of that yesterday, very controlled. Only did that for one period, but went full bore live yesterday during that one period and continue to build off of those reps. And that's kind of the progression we're on right now.
Jimmy Manger, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, how are you?
Good, buddy. How are you?
Good, sir. I asked Coach Bell, with all the changes, you've got new names in the running backs room and the quarterbacks room, C position, lots of change there. The decision to kind of do everything under the radar, obviously some of that intended, I'm assuming, to keep Illinois in the dark since they're the first game, but how much of that was for that reason? How much of it that makes it easier for you guys to determine what you have to decide between these two quarterbacks and all of that?
I think there's multiple reasons. The most obvious is who our first opponent is, and that goes all the way back to the spring, and that whole evaluation process and how I just know the process we go through as a staff and what we're looking for and what we could use to try and find information out. So yeah, there's multiple reasons, but that is the number one. And I just think that I just know as a defensive minded person, when there's those question marks there, it creates multiple options that you have to prepare for, which detracts from the focus that you really want to have. And there's just a lot of unknowns, and so obviously it works both directions. We have unknowns as well without playing a game against anybody before that first opportunity, and they do have a chance to play. So yeah, it's very driven by that. So people may not like it. It doesn't really matter to me. I mean, it's what we're going to do. The whole goal is what we feel is best for our team, and we feel that's the best for our team, and we're going to stick with it.
All right, Tom, good to see you.
All right.
Hi. I understand Donovan came to you about switching to receiver. I get that. Is something like that completely his choice? Quarterback seems like a major position to let someone decide, I'm done. I'm wondering if you pushed back.
Yeah, it wasn't like kind of. It wasn't I'm done kind of a thing. I think it's a fair question. He did come to me. That's very accurate. But I think, no, it's not like, hey, a guy comes to me, I want to spot. I had another kid come to me, other positions, in the last few months about switching, and we usually sit down and as we always do, we have a conversation with the staff about it that are affected by that position. In this circumstance, you contact family and talk to them. And I just think that because that is a major, shifting in a lot of ways. But I will say this, I understood and had the feeling as well, such a talented player that you see has an opportunity to really get on the field sooner in a different role. And then you have to have a big picture view of things, and you just try to go through and evaluate that. But there's no doubt it wasn't done quickly or, just a matter of, hey, he came to me and then he decides I want to do it. So it's automatically just a given. I think there was a lot of discussions that went into it. It was a very gradual process for us to go through it and just kind of see how things played out from that perspective. But even just talking to, others and his high school coaches and just different things. So to me, it was very not a quick decision by any means. But just trying to find the best way to help him and help our football team maximize our roster. And to me, that's what I see from him. And I feel like that's can be a great opportunity for him. I didn't really disagree with him in some of the things he was saying. And there's no question, you have a position like that, and it does take time and takes a lot of reps. And so I just think that just trying to make the best decision about all involved and obviously for him and for our team, and that's what we felt it was.
This line of questioning will look stupid. I'm aware of that. But right now, given his recruiting profile, it just feels awfully fast for him to give up on quarterback, and it feels kind of fast for you to let him do that.
Yeah, and that's obviously an opinion that you have, and that's fair, and that's okay. And so, but I think based on, our conversations and how I feel right now, I feel like that it was the best decision to make. And so you just make those decisions and you gather all the information that you have and you use your resources for that and you follow your gut with it and then you press on and don't look back.
All right, man.
Thank you.
Tyler, on Zoom, please.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm okay. We got Sean Shivers yesterday. He made an interesting comment. I asked him about getting the pads on and playing with, being able to start hitting each other, even as a running back. And he said even without pads, his mindset is he's going to put his shoulder into somebody and try to run him over. I guess, what have you seen from him? He's obviously not a very big guy as far as height, but he plays like he's 6'2", 220. I guess, how much do you enjoy that as a coach? And what have you seen from him as far as a running back and a guy who doesn't run out of bounds and he tries to run guys over?
I love it. Yeah, he's different. He's very compact, very strong, very powerful. But I love his mindset. And I think you take a young man like that, obviously he's probably never been ever considered tall. Some guys grow really, fast and they never grow anymore. We've all seen those guys that are the same grade in sixth grade as they are when they become a junior in high school. But I can't imagine that being the case. He's a guy that's probably always been short and undersized. And that creates a toughness to him. And we got several guys. Matter of fact, it came up in practice the other day, and I called it. We got several guys on our team that I would put in that category that they got a special edge about them because of their size, and they've been small their whole lives, and they've had to learn to fight. And they got to be tough, and they got to be physical, and they got to be mean and nasty in their mindset in order to be able to compete maybe against bigger guys when they were younger. And that's never left him, and it's made him who he is. He's got a tremendous edge about him. Very physical, very tough kid. Brings that. I think he's already infected our entire offense with that mindset. And to me, that's a really big deal to me to be able to have a guy like that and the ability to, have a positive impact on this entire team. Because that toughness that you have to have and that mindset, like you said, just trying to run somebody over, regardless of the thing about him, which is awesome as a coach, is that he's also has the ability to make you miss. And that's what he can do really, really well is also, but he's not looking for the sideline. He's looking for somebody to physically run over. And you saw it on film. That's what he did and did it in some really, really big games against some really high caliber opponents. And when I actually talked to some coaches from down that way, that's the first thing they comment on was his power and how much of a explosive and physical runner that he is as well. So he brings that with his mindset. And as we always say, your mindset drives your expectations and beliefs. And that's the case with Sean Shivers for sure.
Tyler,
Hey, Coach. I hope you're doing well. I wanted to ask about Jalen Lucas. What stood out to you when you first started recruiting him? And I know that he was originally committed to Tulane. How did the recruiting process go as far as your side of things and getting him to you?
Yeah, he's a guy that we actually found when we were down doing our camps off campus down in the South. and I got to see him live and in person. And immediately I was just like, wow, this is the kind of guy we've been looking for. And so, as you said, was committed to Tulane. And that was, it's far distance for him to come up here without question. So I think that was, a big thing we had to overcome without a doubt. But the thing that stuck out to me was just, just the twitch, the burst, the acceleration to go from, 0 to full speed as fast as anybody as I've ever been around and coaching wise. And so, and then just that be a complete package of a guy that has good ball skills, can catch and is a running back and get the ball in space. That kind of a player, and just speed. He's not just quick. He's also fast. He is our fastest player. So that to me is a unique combination. Sometimes you got a guy that's quicker than he is fast. Some guys are faster than they are quick. And he has the ability to have both. Now he's obviously not a big guy. And so that style of play matches that. So, but those things stuck out to me. And then you just get to know him and his family. Just high quality, high character. Does everything right. He's been here now with us since January. So got a really good feel for him as a person, his character, and ability for us to count on him and trust him. And he's just such a detailed guy. And he practices so hard, he trains so hard, and does everything you ask him to do. And he's really thick. Got really thick legs, and that allows us to be able to play him and get him the football and allow him to be able to make a guy miss, yes, but also break tackles with his power. So very special athlete, excited about him and anxious to be able to get him going in our offense.
Mike and Keegan?
Yeah, Coach, wanted to ask, with Taiwan being back 100% this year and then Jalen on the other side there, what does their presence do for you and your confidence as a defensive play caller? If they're on top of their games, I mean, does that allow you to be more exotic and take more risks with the other 9 on the field?
Yeah, there's no question it makes a difference, and that was a thing that really hurt us last year, with losing Taiwan for so much of the season, and then just being able to, not really have the depth, had some injuries further behind them that even caused even more issues with that. And then Jalen played a ton of snaps, so his fatigue and just the wear and tear became a real negative for him. So yeah, there's no question. Having both those guys are very, very talented players, and even the new coaches that have come in on offense have commented pretty quickly about their talent level, compared to what they've seen in years past other places. And so they're just two really good football players, and they're not just talented in regards to physical skills. Yes, they're fast and they're tough and they tackle well and they defend well, but they got a really good football IQ, a lot of football moxie and savvy to them, and understand the game and understand how to position themselves and set things up. And it's hard to coach that. It's the instinctive things that guys have to them about the game of football and understanding it. They have, and that really makes it. And that's probably the biggest thing I think that helps you do some extra stuff. And so just trying to maximize their skill set, trying to maximize the skill set of our team. And we've got some new guys that come in that are younger that have a lot of link to them to be a good complement to what those guys do well. So excited about that position and think we got a chance to really, be a group that can be one of our strengths.
All right, Keegan, and we'll wrap up with Joe.
Hey, Coach. Continuing with Jalen Lucas, do you kind of see his freshman year as a developmental year, or is his talent just too much to kind of deny him a healthy role in the offense?
Yeah, I would say I don't see it as a developmental year. I just want to be able to get him involved and be able to be a variable for us in different ways. And so, yeah, you never know kind of how it plays itself out. We've done this, enough to know that. But he's one of those freshmen that you look at